We are talking this morning with Dave Gallen, partner with Gallen Insurance Incorporated in Cumru Township. Dave, thanks for taking time this morning.
Our pleasure.
There's a lot happening with healthcare in the insurance business right now. The Affordable Care Act has a slew of new requirements for health insurers, businesses. The thing that's going to be happening in January, one thing will be the changes into the women's health care benefits.
Correct.
How big a deal is that for your business and for employer health plans?
Well, I'll tell you what. First of all, I feel that the act coming into place is a very positive thing, especially for the women, for certain checkups are going to get, which are going to be cost-free to them. And so it helps the employer because it's a preventive type of care, which is critical. One, the goal there is to prevent something before it gets too bad, and then the health care kicks in, and then the cost would be just that much more. So from that perspective, it's a very positive thing.
Now this is the time of year, I'm guessing, when employers are talking about their health and benefits plans for 2013?
Well, each employer has a different effective date, if you will, but January 1 is a very, very popular time for corporate industries to have their business for renewal, yes.
So what kind of conversations are you having with employers about benefits?
Well, it's all over the board because, like you said, some things we know that are for a fact. Some of the coverages are defined and spelled out, where other things we're not really sure of where the health care is going. I mean, whether the state of Pennsylvania is going to have their own plan or not, what the feds are going to do, we're not sure what's going to happen. So it's really, really up in the air, and we have a lot of our clients coming to us, and we don't have a lot of answers for them.
What about the plans that companies are putting in place? Are they adjusting things that they're covering? Are you seeing more in terms of higher employee co-pays?
What we're seeing, obviously, the employer's goal is to keep coverage affordable to them as the employer, A, but B, to keep a good program to protect their employees as well. So yeah, what you're seeing a lot of times, if they have a significant rate increase, is to higher deductibles, to raise co-pays, things of that nature to try to contain costs. But it's a juggling act.
Are employers seeing a lot of rate increases?
It is all over the board. It depends on the usage of that particular program. So if you have one company that has a lot of their employees using the program, obviously it's going to impact the rate increase for the following year.
How optimistic are you that if we get to a place where the exchanges are set up and companies might be opting out and giving the vouchers to people to go buy their own insurance out in the open market, how optimistic are you that people will have the information and the wherewithal to make smart consumer choices?
Well, again, that's a good question. I mean, depending on if it's a state-run program, basically the insurance agent will still be involved in helping and assisting the individuals. If a federally program comes into place, they're talking about basically eliminating the agent and going to individuals that aren't licensed. So obviously, as an insurance agent, a little biased about that, we'd prefer to stay in the program, stay in the game, if you will, and assist our clients and future clients.
But your role would be more as advisory, kind of like going to a travel agent to help book your trip.
Correct, without a doubt.
One last question. We just had Hurricane Sandy, and there was a lot of talk about property damage and cost of the insurance business.
Right.
What's your sense of the insurance industry's ability to pay for all those things? In reading some things, I've gotten the sense that insurance companies have figured out how to minimize their own risk exposure and to kind of not offer coverage for weather-related events.
Well, I understand what you're asking. First and foremost, what you have to understand are insurance companies, like they're the only business out there is a for-profit business, which people have to understand. So they're there to make money for their shareholders, if you will. Policies don't change in the height of a storm. So basically, you have to understand your contracts, depend on your agent to explain to you what is covered and what isn't covered. hopefully before an occurrence happens. During or after, obviously, you're kind of behind the 8 ball. So unfortunately, with water-related storms, there's not a lot of coverage in your basic policy. Now, if you have flood insurance, obviously that can cover up to whatever limits of flood insurance you've purchased.
Right.
The inundation of water, again, is a very difficult thing. I mean, for years, water has never been a covered item. I mean, earthquake coverage is not in your normal policy. So if we get hit with a quake, which we had hit several years ago, a lot of people got damaged, did not have coverage. We did have a hurricane several years ago that went up through the Kutztown area. Wind is covered in most policies, especially around here. Now, we're talking regional. You go national, where on the eastern seaboard, the western seaboards, where they have large wind deductibles. Where here, we don't have that. So it depends the region of where you're living or where you have a property on how the policy is written. If that makes any sense or not.
It does. It does. And we'll let that be the last word. Dave, thank you for your time today.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you.